Do you remember those delicious sausage breakfast pizzas that they used to make us in school? This recipe right here brought back so much nostalgia, but of course we had to make it vegan. And listen, they were delicious. They buzzed so bad. I couldn't get enough. Even my son couldn't get enough of them. So, of course, I had to come give y'all the recipe and let you know how I made it, honey. So, let's get into it. Welcome to another video, you guys. Of course, we are starting off making the sauce for our vegan meat substitute. So I am using 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos, 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. I'm also using 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of liquid smoke, 1 tablespoon of coconut brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, 1 teaspoon of sage, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1/4 teaspoons of salt, a half a teaspoon of rosemary, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, and also 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. You want to make sure you give that a nice little mix. Make sure you get all the seasonings incorporated the same way we always do when we make a marinade. You may remember these same ingredients that I use for my walnut sausage and my pecan sausage. Of course, this time we will not be using any nuts. We will be using our soy-free tofu. This is the brand that I use and I love and I swear by. It's delicious, you guys. But anyway, so you want to take that out of the pack and then you're going to crumble this into the paste. Now, of course, you can make the crumbles how big or how large you like, but I wanted to make mine pretty small. So as you can see, I'm just rubbing my fingers together with the tofu in between just to crumble it up. Now, I did not press the tofu or anything, which is the reason why I love this particular soy-free tofu. It's not too watery. So once I take it out of the pack, I do just drain the water off and then I sit it on a napkin to kind of dry it off a little bit. But like I said, I don't have to press it or anything like that because it's not too watery. But you just want to make sure that you are crumbling this down all the way. Once this block of tofu is crumbled successfully, you want to go ahead and give it a nice little mix into that paste. You know that it's all mixed and good when the tofu is brown. All of the tofu should be brown. You should not be able to see any white pieces in the tofu. As you can see, I'm using my fork to kind of just crumble some of the bigger pieces down. You can do that, but you just want to make sure that the sauce or marinade is all over the tofu and every little piece is brown and not white. We're going to sit that to the side and then move over a baking pan. This is the pan that I'll be using. I'm going to cover it up with some parchment paper, some unbleached parchment paper. This is what I like to use because it does not stick. So I'm going to go ahead and put my tofu down onto the pan. Now you want to make sure that you spread the tofu out because we don't want it to be too close together. I find that when you bake it like that, it kind of makes it stick together and it makes it hold more water. So with this method, spreading it out like this, it kind of allows each piece to get cooked and get crispy. We're gonna go ahead and pop this in the oven on 400 for about 30 to 35 minutes or until it's crispy to your liking. Next, we're gonna make our gravy. Okay, so I'm starting off with 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. This is Avocado Country Crock. That is the brand that I like to use when I do like to use butter. But you want to make sure that it's melted all over the pan. And then once it is, we're gonna go ahead and add 1.5 cups of water. Now you can use plant milk. I didn't have any that was readily made, so I decided to use water. I'm also going to use 1 vegetable bouillon cube and just whisk it into the water as it boils to allow it to melt down and not be this chunk of seasoning, but you just want to go ahead and continue to whisk it until the chunk is all melted. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour, and then we're going to whisk that in until it becomes like a thick gravy. Next, we're gonna go in and add half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of black pepper. Give that a nice little whisk. As you can see, it has gotten thick like a gravy should be, but I'm gonna go ahead and add about 1/4 cups of more water, and then just whisk that in and allow it to simmer down to become just a little bit more thick. Once your meat substitute is done, we're going to go ahead and put that into the gravy. Now, of course, this part is optional because you can layer it onto your bagel, but I decided to just go ahead and mix my sausage into the gravy so it can be well incorporated once I line it up and add it onto my bagel. In my mind, this allows all of the seasonings to get well incorporated into the gravy and well incorporated into the meat. Now, as far as my bagel, this is the bagel that I'll be using. It is the Everything Bagel from Dave's Killer Bread. This is a vegan bread, a vegan bagel, so that's why I like this brand. But you just want to go ahead and open up the bagel, of course, as usual, and line them up on some parchment paper. Once they're all lined up, I'm going to take my finger and just kind of press down in the middle of the bagel just so it can kind of make an indentation so that we can add our filling and that the filling won't just spill over the top. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our filling to the bagel. Of course, now you can do however much or however least of this is possible. The first one, I kind of put it over the bagel hole, but I don't know why I did that, y'all. You can do that because I found that it actually baked in there perfectly. But for the rest of these, I just decided to just line it up around the bagel, around the hole, and not fill the hole. But you just want to continue until all of the filling is all over your bagel. Like I said, as you can see, you see how much I decided to put on mine. Hey, this is to your liking. However much sausage you feel like you want on yours, and that's what you do, okay? But y'all know I'm going to do me over here, and this is what I decided to do. So once you have all of the filling on there, this is the cheeses that I'll be using. I'm using some vegan Parmesan and vegan mozzarella. So first I'm going to line these up with the mozzarella, and then I'm going to go back across the top with the Parmesan. Once the cheese is all over these, you're going to pop these back into the oven on 400 and bake them until the cheese is nice and melty for about 15 to 20 minutes, or however you like yours. Now you can storage these, but y'all, when I say they were so delicious, this is how they looked when they came out of the oven. Comment down below, let me know if you're going to make this recipe. Let me know what you think. As always, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. See you later.